How you guys doing? It's your boy Mr. Smooth giving you the best officiating content YouTube has to offer. For this video, we're going to be focusing in on how to officiate rough play. We're going to look at the Terrance Jones incident situation at the PBA League. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get right to the fun stuff. I'm going to let the whole video clip play, then I'll replay it and I'll interject and give my inputs and everything like that. So with that said, let's get right to it.
Jones and Abueva, yun na naman, introducing themselves to each other. Si Abueva naman na nakatumba. Oh, Jones and Abueva just went at each other there.
I saw something there. Let us see. The replay mechanism will prove what I initially saw. But it was obvious that first it was Calvin Abueva who tried to get under the skin of Terrance Jones. But something happened after that.
Tinakbo na lang ni Calvin. Usually, tumatalon-talon dapat, di ba?
Tingnan natin.
Ito yung una.
Ayun, bumangga. Now look at the left hand of Terrance Jones as he was on the way up.
It did appear to be a low blow from that angle. Si Calvin just doing his best to try and shake it off. Referee's missing that one. These two have been at it all game long as well. And Calvin's got to watch it. Tanda natin, may technical foul na rin siya kanina. Gets called for another one. That'll mean good night. Abueva contra Trollano. Puts it up. Doesn't work. Jones with a board. Oh! And Calvin just clotheslined Terrance Jones. And Terrance Jones wants a piece of the beast. We saw it coming, Coach RG. That was a nasty hit.
Some of the things that happened are pretty much self-explanatory. We really did not want to see such an action. It's a well-played basketball game. But unfortunately, things got out of hand.
Penalty 2 on Calvin Abueva. Calvin Abueva out of the play court.
But something happened prior to the foul of Calvin Abueva, which unfortunately was missed.
Jones and Abueva.
Okay, so with that said, there was a lot that happened. There was something that happened on the other end, and then when we got to the other end of the floor, that's when all mayhem broke loose. But we're going to break down this play right here. We're going to look at and focus in on what the referees could have done differently. So with that said, we're going to start the real breakdown. So be sure to like, share, subscribe. And if you love the content, let me know in the comment section, or if there's a video of a play you want me to break down, put that in the comment section as well, especially you Tailor-Made official members. We want to see you guys get more involved with this training program. So with that said, let's start the breakdown. So now we got to understand the game situation, because we got to manage certain game scenarios. So before you even start the breakdown, we're going to take note of the time and the score. We have a 19 to 20 point lead. So it looks like the white team, they're blowing out the black team. So we want to manage the situation. So with that said, we dead ball officiate. we officiate off ball. We know the losing team may be a little frustrated, so we're going to look for if there's any frustration. If we have any problem players, we're going to note those problem players, and we're going to do our best to get those problem players out the game. So with that said, now we're going to start with the breakdown. So I'm going to start it just a little bit. So right now we have our point guard with the ball. So now we got to notice who is supposed to be watching who. So right now we're going to focus in on the trail official here, as the ball is in the trail's primary. So he should be officiating the defense. We have a screen coming here, so he should be watching these three players, 1, 2, 3 here. Then we have our center official. He sees the screen coming, so he's going to focus in on the screen, and also this player for the who's defending the screener as well. So if this player comes off the screen, he's going to pick up this player or whatever may happen next. Now our lead official who's here, guess what? He doesn't have a competitive matchup in the paint or in his primary, so he should be able to extend his vision right here to the first competitive matchup, which is where all the bad stuff happened in the first place. So we're going to roll it again just a little bit. So right now we have our first push. Now, if our lead would have been officiating in his primary, he would have saw that first push. He would have been able to call the foul, and there would have never been a retaliation. Also, our trail official, this is his secondary area as well. So if he had a big picture view of the whole play of the screener coming off, and as well as this off-ball action here, he would have been able to have maybe a cage whistles to see that as well. But as we can see right here, our trail official is watching the player dribbling the basketball. So again, as officials, we don't want to watch the ball, the player dribbling the ball. We want to referee the defense, find our matchup, see the big picture. We see the center official. He's officiating the screening action here, so he's doing his job. But our lead, he's beginning to rotate, and it appears that he's not watching his primary area, so that's where we have our first breakdown. So right now we got one player on the ground. So at this point we now have a pass. So at this point we have a player on the ground. We should be able to say, as officials, we should be able to asking ourselves, why is this player on the ground? What did I miss that happened to this player on the ground? So as we have this pass over here to the corner, now the center's going to pick up the ball. Our lead is going to be the rotate. And now our trail official, since we should be anticipating a rotation, he may begin to step down just a little bit this way. And as he steps down, guess what comes up in his view? That's right. These two players on the ground right here. So as we roll it through, let me move this arrow back up top. As we roll it through, now we have the retaliation, which is right in front of our trail official, who should have been able to see this, but unfortunately he wasn't.
Introducing themselves to each other. Si Abueva naman.
Now we get a pass and a score. Now we all know we have this hurt player on the ground. This is one of the worst feelings officials have on the basketball court, when the player is on the ground hurt from a push, a shove, a punch, or whatever it may be. And as officials, we don't have a clue of how this player got there, because we weren't in our primaries. We were watching the ball. So that's why it's very important not to be watching the ball as we officiate.
Terrance and Abueva just went at each other there.
I saw something there. Let us see. The replay mechanism will prove what I initially saw. But it was obvious that first it was Calvin Abueva who tried to get under the skin of Terrance Jones. But something happened after that.
Tinakbo na lang.
So now we're gonna back up just a little bit more because something real funny here. So now the two players that were involved, we have one of the players dancing while the other player is hurt. So this is gonna frustrate the losing team because they see the player who just injured their player dancing on the sideline. As referees, it would be justifiable to tee this player up for unsporting-like. Again, we're going to focus in on high school rules. Again, we want to manage these situations. So if we would have give this player a technical foul, even though we missed the two intentional fouls that happened earlier, now we tee up this player for dancing. Guess what? We tell the coach, hey, number one, due to his unsporting content, his conduct, we're going to give him a technical foul. This gives the coach a chance to talk to his player, maybe even take the player out the game. And since this is high school, we can even ask for a sub to come in for this player because we want to control the situation. If we could get our problem players out of the game, it makes our job a lot easier.
Tinakbo na lang ni Calvin. Usually, tumatalon-talon dapat, di ba?
Tingnan natin.
So now we're going to watch the replay. We could clearly see we have a shove to the ground, which really wasn't a basketball play, so we should have been able to step in, maybe call this a common foul, but we didn't.
Bumangga. Now look at the left hand of Terrance Jones as he was on the way up.
Now we're going to have a punch to the groin and a possible elbow to the face. Now with the first foul being rough, being a non-basketball play, basically just throwing all your weight into a player, knocking him to the ground, it will be justifiable to eject both these players from the game for intentional flagrant foul. So now you don't have to worry about these two players going forward.
It did appear to be a low blow from that angle. See Calvin just doing his best to try and shake it off. Referee's missing that one.
So now we're going to have these same two players being real close proximity. As you can see, pretty much face to face. So guess where the referee's eyes need to be? Not on the basketball. We shouldn't be watching anything else but these two players who just got involved in this little scuffle on the other end of the court. So as we watch it, we can see the players from white, it actually did a good thing. They actually helped out the referees. They pulled the two problem players away from each other, which is actually a big help.
And Calvin's got to watch it. Tanda natin, may technical foul na rin siya kanina. Gets called for another one. That'll mean good night. Abueva contra Trollano. Puts it up. Doesn't work. Jones with a board.
So right here as officials, our antenna should be up. We got the players who was this involved. We got one player sprinting towards the other player. This should tell you something is about to happen. You can see the other player begin to wind his arm back. So as referees, our antenna should be up. Unfortunately, we missed the two flagrant intentional fouls on the other end of the court. And now we're going to have our boiling point. So with that said, let's play it.
Oh!
So now we have our intentional foul, or intentional flagrant foul, whatever you want to call it. The new trail official immediately comes up the signal that he has a intentional foul. We got the lead. He also does the same, and they do a good job in close in because now there's going to be a retaliation. As you can see, we have this player right here sprinting to the player that just committed the foul.
Close line.
As you can see, he gets in that player's face.
Terrance Jones. And Terrance Jones wants a piece.
There's some pushing and shoving. You can see the white is trying to get Terrance Jones away from the player that just fouled him.
We saw it coming, Coach RG.
So now we're going to back it up a little bit more.
Puts it up. Doesn't work. Jones with a board.
So now we have our foul, our hard intentional flagrant foul. Now as officials, we want to close in. Two officials did a good job closing in. Now the center official on the other side, you don't want to close all the way in because you want to make sure if any players leave the bench, you want to be able to see that. And since you're on the sideline of where the benches are, you should find a nice spot where you can monitor the action on the floor as well as the bench area. In this situation here, we have all three officials in the scuffle. So we did have the benches clearing. Guess what? Our officials wouldn't be able to see who left the bench area. So that's why it's very important. Three officials not all come in. Two will come in, and one should have a big picture view of the situation and as well as the bench areas.
And Dennis Jones wants a piece of the beast. We saw it coming, Coach RG. That was a nasty hit.
So now we got this player doing his little dance, looking at the opponent's bench. This is definitely a technical foul as he's inciting the crowd, being unsporting. So this should be penalized. So again, you want to penalize all and any unsporting acts. So if we were to officiate this play properly, one, we would get the first foul, definitely get the second foul. But let's say if we didn't get the foul, we could get Terrance Jones a T for dancing. You could give this player a technical foul for dancing. You got the flagrant foul as well, which led to his ejection. So again, with that said, this was a typical easy play to officiate, but it's always easy to say that when you're on the sidelines and when you're on the court. But again, it's very important. Officiate off ball. Do not watch the ball because if you don't, you will end up in a situation like this. Get your problem players off the court, especially when you have a blowout. It should be real easy. Put fouls on them. When they do something unsporting, intentional fouls, flagrant fouls, don't be afraid to dump them. Make your job a lot easier as officials. But with that said, I'm getting ready to close out. It's your boy, Mr. Smooth. Remember, hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Peace.